During the Super Bowl, where we witness history with two black starting quarterbacks facing off against one another, many commercials caught the viewers' attention. Some hilarious, some awful, some we wish we truly never saw. Then there was this one playing on your screen, with Grammy-nominated artist Rag & Bone Man and his 2017 hit Human. There were images portraying the 2020 George Floyd protests that rocked the world against systemic racism and police brutality. Visuals showed anti-mask, anti-vax folks on the right yelling at those in the medical field, tussles in public between folks from the big city to small-town America. They mentioned AI surveillance. There was even a shout-out to the Shmuanon shaman yelling in the face of a black man in the streets. One may think it's a reflection of the times, but in the end, Super Bowl viewers were hit with the messaging, Jesus loved the people we hate. He gets us, all of us. Behind the scenes of this group lay a troubling history, with many vehemently in disagreement with their ways, including prominent right-wing personalities.
The message is stark, arresting, and backed by $100 million.
That's right, $100 million spent on ads. Jason Vanderground is the president of Haven, which is the agency behind the ads. Vanderground is one of the first to say this is not about politics, but that is complete hogwash. To say this isn't about politics is like saying the Super Bowl is not centered around a football game. It's just complete nonsense. However foolish it may be to say something like this, Vanderground and others involved with this campaign know that it is what they must say when giving interviews, doing press, what have you. Because, in their eyes, saying this will protect them from public scrutiny. David Green, owner and CEO of Hobby Lobby, is a staunch right-wing donor. Mr. Vanderground confirmed that the Green family was among the funders. The nonprofit Servant Foundation, which also does business as an organization called The Signatory, has donated more than $1 billion in recent years to religious, political, and educational organizations, including some that align with anti-abortion and right-wing causes. The Servant Foundation's website, as mentioned previously, is what's displayed on your screen right now. ProPublica would note of the Kansas-based charity, also known as the Signatory, it exists to inspire and facilitate revolutionary biblical generosity. The Signatory has a tight relationship with a nonprofit called the Alliance Defending Freedom. On the bottom of their homepage, they keep track of SCOTUS wins, allied attorneys, and network attorneys. So if you're watching this, you might be asking, what is Alliance Defending Freedom? A hate group per the SPLC, saying anyone in the LGBTQ+ community is a criminal and should be thrown in prison. It gets worse, however. They were defending, albeit unsuccessfully, European laws requiring the sterilization of trans citizens seeking administrative recognition of their preferred gender. The ADF says it helped draft the 2018 Mississippi abortion law at the heart of the SCOTUS decision last year allowing states to ban the procedure, and also helped argue that case before the High Court, wrote Jacobin. This term, the Alliance Defending Freedom is leading a new Supreme Court case arguing that businesses should be allowed to discriminate against LGBTQ+ customers. As uncovered by multiple outlets, the Servant Foundation has a trove of funds that they allocate to right-leaning causes. Try nearly $1 billion in assets and making $390 million in grants. We know this via the Servant Foundation's 2020 tax return. Their donations were among the 5 biggest.
So that was a lot of money.
Green, a big funder, spoke with Glenn Beck, an Obama birther who has a history of racism and misogyny on his broadcast. Green promoted the ads in this interview. And when Green needed a lawyer to represent his company, Hobby Lobby, in front of the Supreme Court, who did he turn to?
Senator Josh Hawley also had to flee. Earlier that afternoon, before the joint session started, he walked across the east front of the Capitol. As you can see in this photo, he raised his fist in solidarity with the protesters already amassing at the security gates. We spoke with a Capitol police officer who was out there at the time. She told us that Senator Hawley's gesture riled up the crowd. Later that day, Senator Hawley fled after those protesters he helped to rile up stormed the Capitol. See for yourself.
That would be Missouri Senator Josh Hawley fighting the Obama administration's contraception mandate, leading to a 2014 ruling finding that closely held corporations do not have to comply with the mandate if their owners voice religious objections. His wife, Erin Hawley, is a senior counsel at Alliance Defending Freedom and has helped spearhead its efforts to restrict abortion rights and permit anti-LGBTQ plus discrimination. In addition, the He Gets Us ads will say that they are not necessarily connected to one subset of religion. Once more, this appears to be a lie. It has theological ties to evangelical practices as well as financial ones. In general, Christian evangelism is closely tied to conservatism and is an extremely influential force in American politics. And if you want any idea, check out Billy Corbin's latest documentary on the founders of Liberty University. On the He Gets Us Outreach website reads the following: "We generally recognize the Lausanne Covenant as reflective of the spirit and intent of this movement, and churches that partner with explorers from He Gets Us affirm it." The 1974 Lausanne Covenant is an important unifying document in evangelical Christian churches. Documents and decisions that have come out of the movement's summits have decried the idolatry of disordered sexuality and focused heavily on the impact of the devil and sin on national cultures. These are the same people who believe that mixing sports and politics are a no-no. Since the beginning of 2022, the He Gets Us ads have shown up online on billboards and during televised sporting events like NASCAR, baseball, football games, what have you. The ads offer viewers the ability to connect with Bible reading groups, get supportive texts, or contact a local church, per Vanderground. But of course, that's not all. There was also an image that read, "Jesus was canceled." When it comes to crucifixion and cancel culture, I don't see much to compare, wrote Josiah R. Daniels on a Christian outlet. The ad campaign comes as Christian identity has waned in this country. 63% of American adults identified as Christian in 2022, down from 90% in the 90s. Here are other huge grants that have been allotted. This is a big business. Take it all in on Super Bowl Sunday.
He Gets Us is funded by anonymous donors acting through a Kansas nonprofit linked to staunchly conservative causes, and it raises alarms for some skeptics, such as Chrissy Stroop, a former evangelical who now reports on religion.
I believe the He Gets Us campaign is a PR effort and website strategically developed by right-wing evangelicals to rope people in with inclusive-sounding messaging and get them plugged into local churches that will eventually teach them that to be a Christian means to support right-wing politics.